everyone, my name is Keely and I'm the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another soap making video. Now over on the Create with Soy and Shea Patreon page, I asked my members to give me suggestions for soap designs each month. I make one of those suggestions and then I send them a free bar of that soap once it is ready. Now this time I asked them to send in suggestions for soap swirl techniques that they would like to see me do, and I put all the suggestions into my soapy jug and I drew them out, and the one that I drew out was by Suzanne, who runs Wombat Lagoon. I'll leave links to her business down below so you can go and check her out. But she suggested that I do a drop swirl, but keeping the drop to the very top of the soap bar. Now as soon as I pulled that one out, I knew I wanted to use the new fragrance oil I got from Aussie Soap Supplies called London Lemon Curd, and we were going to make it look like a lemon tart cake, and the drops in the top were going to look like lemon curd just sinking down into the top of that tart. So let's go and check out how I make my lemon tart cake. Let's go. Okay, so let's jump into this. We have got lots going on today. I am doing some layers, I'm doing some drop swirls, we'll be doing some piping as well. I am going to do a lot of the whisking because I am doing the layers and I want those layers to set up because we're going to be doing some sculpting to one of those layers. So I am going to pour my lye solution into my oils here. I'm going to mix them until I think they are well combined, and then we're going to split it off for that first layer. Alright, so that is looking pretty good to me. We will be doing some stick blending, so we will make sure that is well and truly incorporated a bit later. I'm going to do the first layer, and in here I have a bit of Opulence mica, and I'm going to pour off just under half, maybe a little bit more, because we're going to do some sculpting with this one. So pour that off in there. No, I will leave it like that. And also what I'm going to add in here is a bit of titanium dioxide, because I want it to be more of a pale goldy colour rather than that really bright one. Alright, so I'm going to grab the stick blender, I'm going to mix that in, and then I'm going to pour the fragrance in, because I actually want to see what the fragrance does to this for when I do the next layer, but I'm not bothered if this bit does set up a bit on me. Alright, so I actually decided the colour I had was a little bit too unappealing, because we are going to be making what will hopefully look like a lemon curd cake sort of thing, and I want this layer to be the pastry, and I just felt that it looked like the pastry hadn't been cooked. So we've added in some more Opulence mica and a touch of mocha mica as well. Now I'm going to pour in some of my oil to see what happens here. This one is London Lemon Curd. Now if you saw the live unboxing video I did, this is one of the new Aussie Soap Supply fragrances, and oh look at that, it has really thinned out my batter here. That is fantastic. This was one of the only fragrances I actually got that had vanillin at 3%, so I know this is going to darken up just a little bit. Now in case you did miss that live video, this fragrance, it's described as being smooth and creamy and not too tart. It's got sweet lemon, icing sugar, it also has warm vanilla extract and a touch of fresh cream. It does smell like a lemon curd, but to me it's definitely not a very tart one. You do get that lemon come through, but it hasn't got that sort of really acidic tone to it that some of the lemons can have. That has thinned out my batter a lot, so I'm really happy with that. The top layer is going to work, but I'm going to have to stick blend this so I don't have to wait forever for it to set up in my mold. Okay, well I have been stick blending that for about 40 seconds, and I've only just started to get what I would call a medium trace on this, but I am going to start pouring it in now so we can get a relatively even layer that I can then sculpt. So let's get the stick blender all cleaned off. We have got our mold, and I am just going to very, very simply pour this into the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to leave that one sit there for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and start sculpting the top. So if you follow along with me on Instagram, you would have seen a post in my stories one day where I showed that I had received these, and these are cake combs or cake scrapers, and they come with lots of different shapes on them. And this one here, this one was a whole piece, and I've just had hubby actually take the hacksaw to it and cut it down so that it fits into my mold. And all I'm going to do is dip my scraper into my soap and then just start to push it along, and I'm going to create those ridges. I may need to make a couple of passes to make sure we get some really nice defined lines. And the idea behind this is usually when you get a lemon pie, you have that really nice fluted edge pastry. What I've got here, I know this is a massive mold for what I'm taking off here, but I have got a round mold, and I'm just going to put this excess in here. We are also going to clean the end of our mold off down this end, and then I'm going to go back through and pick up some more and really define these grooves in here. Back to this oil. I know this looks like it is really setting up here, but as you saw, that fragrance oil is going to really thin this out, so I'm not too worried. First thing I'm going to do, I have a little pot here which I have got in some Tuscan Sun mica, and I'm going to pour about half a pot, so it's going to be literally about 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of soap in there. And this one here, I have some Tangerine Dream mica and a little bit more of that Tuscan Sun in there, and I'm going to pour a little bit less of that one. I wanted it to be more of an orangey yellow. And then into my big pot, I am going to put in some titanium dioxide. Now what I'm going to do before I add any fragrance in there, I am going to pour off a little bit into that cup because I want that to be white. Probably got way too much. Let's come down to about there. Alright, that one is looking really good. Oh, I'm going to pop that off to one side, clean up that bit of mess that I've made. And then into my big bucket, along with that titanium dioxide, I am going to add in just a little bit of yellow as well. This is that Tuscan Sun again, because I want this to be a pale yellow, but I also know that that fragrance oil is going to change this slightly in colour. So let's get these colours mixed in. Alright, so the spatula was just not getting the job done there, so I've picked up a stainless steel teaspoon. Gosh, that's a mouthful to actually mix that with. This is nice and firm, but just in case, I am still going to use the spatula, and I'm going to pour out most of this in here, keeping in mind I do need a little bit of space for this drop swirl that we're going to add to the top. So let me get this all evenly poured. I am going to save that bit of batter. I'm not going to do it as I originally thought, and that was to fill it pretty much all the way up to the top, because I might just have that yellow top on here. What I am going to do, she wanted me to do a drop swirl that only stays kind of on the top. Now to do that, all you need to do is pour your soap. You don't pour it from as high up, but you need to pour it so that it will actually still drop into the soap. So I'm not sure if that actually has dropped enough, but we will find out. Let's get this yellow one mixed up again so it goes nice and fluid, and hopefully we can force some of that darker orange to drop a bit further. It is smelling really, really good. These ones that I've got here, and we're going to kind of just dollop this in because it's beyond pouring now. I think that's really odd. In that grey it stayed so fluid for so long, or in the brown it stayed fluid for so long, and yet in these colours it's really thickened up. So that's really weird, possibly because I left the oil and lye solution sitting on the bench. Maybe if I had poured off my oil layers separately, that might have helped a bit. I'm just going to make these 2 extra little soaps with what soap batter I do have here. Alright, so I have put my white into a piping bag, and we've got a tip 8B, which is a big open star tip. And all I'm going to do is put a dollop onto each of the bars just on this one side. So I'm going to go all the way down. So who has actually had lemon curd? My mum makes it, but I am not a fan of it. I've not been a fan of it since I was a child. I think it was actually the texture of lemon curd that I have never liked. So I don't like lemon meringue pie. I don't like lemon tart. Anything that's got lemon curd in, I can't stand it. Look, I've got a great big piece of cream. Oh! Creamy soap there. Let's pop that back in my bag. I'm making a right mess today. There's some days that you make soap and everything goes smoothly, you don't make any mess, and then there's other days where you just make so much mess, and this is one of those days. Let me get that out of the way. Before I start topping up any more of this, I am going to put some on these like so. So yeah, I'm not a fan of lemon curd, but hubby is, so mum likes to make him some lemon curd, but there's just something about the texture of it that I just don't like. I do like lemon things, I like the taste of lemon things, I like the smell of lemon things, just not lemon curd. But this one is smelling like one of those nice lemon tarts that I know a lot of the people in my family make. I am completely empty on my pipings, who made just enough. Let me go and grab the embeds. So here are my little embeds to go on them. I have made some little lemon wedges. See, I'm telling you, I'm making a big mess today. So I've made some little lemon wedges. I didn't do a behind the scenes video on this one this week because I have actually done citrus fruit slices before, so I'll leave a link up in the corner so you can go and check out how I made these or something similar for another soap. And all I'm going to do is finish off each of these soaps by putting in a piece of lemon into each of them like so. And these ones I've been doing on the side, they are also going to get a nice piece of lemon in there, and someone will get one of these in their order. The other one, I think I'm going to save that for the boy across the road because he was watching me make these lemons and asked if he could have one. Unfortunately, I only had enough to do this batch of soap, so I might actually save him one of those little soaps as well. He loves to come and watch me make the soap and other bits and pieces. So let me get all of these lemons popped in here. Alright, so I've got the last one in there. I'm just going to turn my mould round. I have got some bronze sparks in my little spray here, and I'm just going to give it a really light puff over that cream to kind of make it look like that real golden look you get from off the meringue that you put on top of lemon tarts when you bake them. So give that just a bit of a gentle spray there. This sprayer is from Aussie Soap Supplies, and I do find this one really good for doing some fine detailed work, but I do prefer the Nature Soap ones to actually spraying the whole of my soap with. Okay, so here is my lemon tart pie made with London lemon curd. I am absolutely loving the top of this. Those lemons are just so cute there. I'm really hoping that little low drop swirl has worked. So we'll leave this one sit overnight. We'll be back in just a moment and we'll cut it open and see. It's time to cut into our lemon tart soap, and it's looking absolutely stunning and it smells so delicious. Now, as someone who does not really like lemon tart and lemon meringue pie and all of those, if someone actually presented me a slice that smelt like this does, I probably would give it a go. You've got that lemon smell in here, but you've also got this really nice creamy vanilla quite a warm sort of smell. Now I am trimming some of those lemon pieces. I obviously went very wonky while trying to add those bits in, but let's get it cut open and we'll see what these ones look like. Alright, so let's take a look at these two from off the end here. And that is the inside of our lemon tart, and I absolutely love it. Really love the fluted edge of this pastry layer. I wish the pastry had been just a little bit darker, but maybe it will darken up with all that vanillin that is in here. Really love this shallow drop swirl, so thank you so much for that suggestion in our little soap design poll over on Patreon. What I can see on here, and I think the camera is going to pick it up, can you see around my drops I have this other colour of yellow, and that is not a colour I actually added in here. It's not a glycerin river from what I can see, but it must have something to do with it. I usually get glycerin rivers around my drop swirls when I do them like this, or do just a very distinct drop swirl, but they don't look like glycerin rivers because they don't have that transparent sort of look to them. It looks like I have actually put a third colour in with that drop. And look, it's even on these pieces as well. So I really don't know what I've done there, but I absolutely love it. It really adds to the whole effect. Really loving how it just looks like bits of lemon curd have been dropped into the piece of tart here, and the top with their piece of cream and their little slice of lemon on there as well. The fragrance in this, it is so delicious. I think Aussie Soap Supplies have done a really good job at this bakery scent. Usually I find the bakery scents to be a bit but this one just smells so good and is actually making me want to go and find something to eat. I love the drops in these. There's just like lots of little drops of curd in that one, and then the nice big one on the other side there. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made the lemon tart cake, and if you are here in Australia and have been wondering how the Aussie Soap Supply fragrances go, this one is a really good one. If you want to know how much these are going to darken up, then come and follow me over on Instagram, because once they are ready to go out on the shelf, I will take photos then and list them up on Instagram so you can then see just how dark these ones will turn. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how I made my lemon tart cake. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you then. Bye.